welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel.
As I said before, please be patient because we're not the most consistent with the location, the lighting, or anything like that, but we are having fun.
So we don't have natural light right now because it's been very gloomy outside. I don't know why, because yesterday was hot AF. I don't know, I'm new to Switzerland summer weather, so I don't know if this is normal or just, global warming and such. So I thought that we could just chat a little bit, keep it casual today, because I'm not feeling it. I had a book digestion prepared for today, but quite honestly, I don't feel like talking about that. I just feel like just doing a book tag. So I'm going to do a book tag. I have here the questions for the mid-year book freak out tag. Well, that's a very long name, but it's basically just questions about my reading so far of the year, and I hope you like them. So first question, best book you read so far in 2021? The Midnight Library, 5-star book, really amazing book, a lot of reflections about life, and I just finished reading Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid today, and it really is about the same topics of what if I would have done this other thing, what type of life I would be living if I would have dared to go to the right instead to the left. I don't know, I think it's a really good story and I enjoy it a lot. You can watch the video I made about that if you want to know more. But it's just basically a book about this woman that wants to end her own life. And she wants to end her own life because she doesn't see any meaning to it. She doesn't have goals, she doesn't have a partner, she doesn't have any meaningful connections with anyone, or that's what she thinks. And yeah, so when she commits suicide, she arrives to this library, and in this library there's all the outcomes of all the decisions she didn't take in her life, and she can now explore them and see what her life would have been like. Best sequel you read this year so far? Well, I don't know if this counts as cheating because it is the only sequel I've read this year, but I did like it. I'm talking about the Heartstopper graphic novels by Alice Oseman. As a rule of thumb, I don't read series anymore. I can't do it. It takes a lot of me. I don't have the patience of waiting, and even if I really like the first book, I often get distracted, or maybe when the other book comes out, I don't feel like it anymore. That has happened in the past. Actually, I am going to start a sequel, I think next week, the week after that. I'm not sure if I will, but it's in the plans. So the thing with Heartstopper is that they're very quick comics, graphic novels that you can just read in one sitting. And I actually have one here. I have two. I have Heartstopper 3 and Heartstopper 4. These are not mine. They were lent by my friend Finn. Thanks, Finn. And I really enjoy them. I think they're really good if you are in a reading slump or if you just wanted something quick and lovely and fun to read. Next question is new release, but it says new release you haven't read yet but want to. And I think it implies that you already have it, because the next question is most anticipated release. So it has to be something that is already released to the public. The Road Trip. I bought the Road Trip for my Kindle. I bought it in pre-sale. It's been in my Kindle since June 1st. I haven't read it. I'm scared of reading it actually because I love Beth O'Leary and I'm afraid I'm not gonna like it because I've been so hyped about this book. And yeah, I'm anticipating it. I hope I read it very soon and I'll let you know how that goes. But I also want to read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid because Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones, she's really good at doing Hollywood, at doing fame, at doing, this kind of lifestyle. And I feel like Malibu Rising is gonna just explore that even further and is gonna show us how good she is at doing these things. Because, if you don't know about her talents already, what are you waiting for, right? And, I also want to read The Maidens. Right now, I don't remember the name of the author. I'm very sorry about that. but I've been seeing it everywhere on Instagram and I'm so jealous I don't have it, and so I just want to read it. It feels like it's a book that I would enjoy, and it's right up my alley. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and this is, I guess, a book that I'm waiting for. Oh, I mean, like everyone else is in that universe, Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You? And yeah, I have no idea what it's gonna be about. I've seen it everywhere and I've been avoiding it because I don't wanna know. I know I'm gonna read it and I wanna go as clueless as I can, as I did with all her other books. I love Sally Rooney like any other 20-something does. And I think she's very real, and whatever she writes, I'm probably gonna love. So yeah, that is something I'm waiting for. I'm not someone that waits or keeps track of what books are coming up. I see them around, I read what they're about, or whatever. I see if I'm in the mood and I read them. I'm not a stalker that much in that aspect. Biggest disappointment in life would be that I don't have natural pink hair. But my biggest literary disappointment of 2021, okay, so Much Ado About You by Samantha Young was a horrible book for me. I didn't like any minute of reading it. I was bored. I mentioned it in the wrap-up I did for that. I didn't like it at all. I feel like the only thing that saved the story were the secondary characters, and barely, there was no story. It was not good. Sorry. But that book, I wasn't expecting a lot. I mean, of course, you always expect a good read, and I was expecting a good romance and whatever, but my expectations weren't too high, and even then, it couldn't fulfill them. But then there's Mexican Gothic, and I had high expectations for Mexican Gothic because everyone was reading it. It had really good reviews. It was about Mexico. It was including Gothic aspects to it, and in my head I already kind of imagine what could it be, imagine a good ending, imagine a lot of things that didn't happen. So that really disappointed me. I mean, you can watch the video I did about that book because I don't have it really fresh. But yeah, I remember the disappointment. Although if you want to compare them and you absolutely have to read one of those, read Mexican Gothic. Like, don't read Much Ado About You. That's like a 2-star book, and Mexican Gothic I get like 4 stars, 4.5 or something. That's on disappointment, I guess. So next is biggest surprise. I don't know, like I keep my expectations really average, so it's difficult if a book surprises me a lot. Like The Midnight Library surprised me, and it's a 5-star read, but it wasn't like, oh wow, what a surprise. Like I kind of already got the feeling while reading it that I was really liking it, so I wasn't surprised of it. Like sometimes I've read books that are average and then they get really good, and that surprises me. Or that I hear that people are talking about them, they say that they're bad, and then they're not. I mean, it could be Middlemarch. I thought Middlemarch by George Eliot was going to be a little bit more on the boring side, but I thought the plot and the multitude of plots that they had, it was really good. Middlemarch surprises me because if it didn't feel heavy to read, maybe also because I took a whole month to read it, because I took my time. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I thought I wasn't gonna like it, or that I was gonna meh it. Next question is favorite new author, debuted or new to you. I'm a fangirl at heart, but I don't know, this first half of the year hasn't been that much. Well, I mean, I could say Matt Haig from The Midnight Library. I want to read more things that he has written because I know that he has other books that are also very well reviewed. So it could be him. The Midnight Library is not his debut, but he was new for me. Or it could be John Paul Brammer from Hola Papi. I made a video about him too. And Hola Papi was his debut book, memoir. And I think that he has a lot of potential. He's very quirky, he's very funny, he's very real and young, a fresh voice. Yeah, I feel like if he were to write fiction, it would be really good. Maybe young adult will be the best genre for him.
But I don't know.
Now I'm gonna disappoint all of you because the next question is newest fictional crush. And I don't have one. I feel like when I was younger, I fell in love with every character in every book. I internalized them, or I just wanted to meet them, or wanted to be like them, wanted to be with someone like them. But it's been a couple of years, maybe 5, when I don't fall in love that easily anymore. I've grown. I mean, maybe not, but I don't recall one from the books I read, and mostly because the books I read this year have been very challenging. So in terms of characters, they're fine. They're good written characters, but not enough for me to like fall in love with them. Just like the story is good. Sometimes it's like stories full with bad people that you wouldn't fall in love with. I mean, if I can cheat and pick one from 2020, which is last year, it's barely been a year. Henry Winters from The Secret History. He's my boo. I love him. You know that he makes my heart ache every time I think about him, and sometimes I think about him for days and days and days. Like, it still hits me very hard. And I've been wanting to reread The Secret History, but I have so many other things that I need to and want to read, and I don't want to get sad all over again. But yes, Henry Winters, The Secret History. What a man. Newest favorite character? Again, I don't have one anymore. Again, I don't have one right now. I mean, I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and the main girl, Pip, was pretty hip. She's fine. She's fine. She's a good character. She's a good person. She's a good detective, but like, that's it. Not my favorite. No one is. It's very difficult for me to pick you as my favorite character. You need to be very remarkable. So if I have to pick one, it will be Pip from that book. Sula from Sula. I don't know. I feel like she's a complex character and I'm drawn to pick her, but it's not like she's my favorite. She's just complex and I like complex, but still. A book that made you cry. And I'm a crier, but it also hasn't happened this year, which is, no, I'm lying. I'm totally lying. I have cried this year many times, but especially with My Dark Vanessa. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I'm very bad with names, but My Dark Vanessa destroyed me in many scenes. The ending wasn't like a crying ending, but like in the in-betweens. So in My Dark Vanessa, what the author is trying to do is that because she attacked your feelings already, she's trying to have an uplifting ending. So you don't cry at the end, so you cry during. And I did. I have a video about that. Check trigger warnings though. But there are very difficult topics happening there. Also, The Bluest Eye, the ending of The Bluest Eye is very brutal, very somber, and Toni Morrison made me cry at the end. Now, a book that made me happy, and I don't know. I mean, when I finish a book, I'm like, okay, great, that was amazing, but like, that generates a feeling of happiness. It's kind of difficult to pick. Like, I'm either like, yay, good book, or I'm like, yay, good book, crying, or like, right now. But today, as the day I'm filming this video, I finished reading Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was wholesome. It was, as I said, very on the Midnight Library's reflections of life and what could have happened if you do something different. I think that's a book that created happiness within me because it reassures you a lot that you are on the right path, because there's no wrong path for you, and that every version of yourself is going to be fine. And yeah, you know, it gives you like those kind of like calming, wholesome feelings of you're fine, you're gonna be fine, everything is okay. So yeah, maybe that one. The most beautiful book that you bought or received this year. And you know, I don't buy books, or I'm trying not to buy books because I don't have money for that. I read them for free from the library or as ARGs, or I just buy $1 ebooks in my Kindle. But I guess the question refers to the cover of the books, like a beautiful cover, and not like the beautiful writing style. So if I had to pick something, maybe it would be, again, the Heartstopper books, just because they have beautiful art illustrations. Oh, because they're graphic novels. And the covers are also very pretty. So the last question is a little bit loaded. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I'm a mood reader. I'm semi-organized with my reading, so I have a Notion spreadsheet with all the books that I see that I want to read. Then I put them there. I put the editorial, I put the author, everything. So whenever I have time and I'm blank on what to read, I go there. I also have a Goodreads list, and in Libby I have a lot of tags and I write them down sometimes. But at the end of the day, it is about what I feel like reading and mostly what the library has available. So I have no idea what I'm going to be reading, basically. I have no idea what I'm going to be reading for the next of the year. There is no set list that says first this and then that, whatever. And there is no guarantee that I'll read. So why would I tell you lies? But I do have a personal classics challenge that I'm following the prompt of a blog called Books and Chocolate. And I think I already talked about it in my first videos of January, so you can check that up. And basically, I picked 12 classics to read. And among them are Vanity Fair, The House of Mirth, Moby Dick, I know, Crime and Punishment, and I'm sure the Count of Monte Cristo, and other classics that I really want to read. And those are like something that I definitely want to accommodate within my readings within the next 6 months of the year. And I hope I get to read them all, because this is the first time I do a classics challenge and I want to do them. Like 4 days ago, I went to a used bookstore here in Switzerland, and they usually have an English section that is small, but they had classics, and I bought Vanity Fair by William Thackeray. And the reason why I want them in physical editions is because classics are something I heavily annotate. Like, I annotate everything, but classics especially. So this is my mid-year book tag. Sorry it wasn't more organized, but I hope you like the suggestions. The majority of the books I mentioned in this video have their own video or are mentioned in my wrap-ups. So you should be able to find more information about these books if you're interested. I'll see you next week with a book digestion. And if you have any questions about anything, send them to me. I'll try my best to answer them. And I hope you have a nice day. Thanks for watching this video. Keep reading. And when you're not, follow me on all my social media, linked down below. My name is Isabel, and this was my mid-year freak out book tag. Bye.